Ladies and gentlemen, for the second try tonight, we are live, and this time it is some NASCAR 07 Craftsman Truck Series racing. We've got a short double header for you guys here today as we'll be running two 50% races. Now, I plan on running two more 50% races on the season anyway because there were four for the schedule. They weren't supposed to be until Atlanta and Las Vegas, which were races 16 and 17 in the season, but I moved them up to tonight due to having the Throwback Thursday live stream that unfortunately got taken down virtue of copyright. So the plan is to rewatch that tomorrow afternoon before the Truck Series race starts. Sorry for that, but yeah, we started the live stream. We got about 11 and a half minutes in, and then the stream went kaplooey. So it does not exist anymore, unfortunately. We will not be able to watch the 2015 Fall Kansas race. We'll have to watch we'll try to watch the 2001 Kansas race, which was the first ever race at Kansas Speedway. So we'll watch that tomorrow again at 5:30. Then we'll have live commentary for tomorrow night's truck race at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, still as originally scheduled. To make up for today, two 50% races, NASCAR 07, races 12 and 13 out of 20. So we're on the custom schedule season here. We'll only have 7 races to go after tonight's races. Last race we had was actually 2 nights ago at Watkins Glen. We got a strategy-based win where we only led 11 laps of the 75 in that race, but we were able to get the race win over Bobby Hamilton Sr., who dominated the day and probably had the quickest truck in the field. Hamilton closed the gap on points leader Ron Hornaday, so did we. Hornaday finished 5th. He did not lead a lap, so it was pretty solid for both of us, with Hamilton getting 10 bonus points finishing 2nd, us getting 5 bonus points finishing 1st, and Hornaday not getting any even with the top 5. Hornaday has a 26-point lead into this first race tonight. I'll update the point standings at the end of race 1. Only 100 laps in this first race at IRP, and then the second race will only be 67 laps at Homestead as well. Green flag is in the air. We're racing for the first of 2 races here on a Friday night, and underway we go. Already a little contact in 1 and 2 as Bodine fights for the lead off the exit of the corner, leaning on the 180 truck of Hans Good and looking to take charge. Bodine was fastest in practice, as well as qualifying on the pole. Only his 3rd pole of the season. We will not be qualifying in the second race at Homestead later tonight. So gonna want to try to maximize on the points here in this first race as much as possible. Local car guy, Corey Freet, Wade Zielinski, Derek Booth, Mike George, and others welcome into the stream. Already ran a faster lap here on lap 2 in this race than what I ran in qualifying. And Hornaday looks as if he has just driven to 2nd, so he's going to want to charge after Bodine. The other short track races that were similar in length to this, Martinsville, Bristol, Bodine won both of them. In both those races, Hornaday finished 2nd. At both times, they were beating and banging at the end of the race looking for the win. Will that be the case again here today? Will be the next question. Todd Bodine doesn't want Ron Hornaday to get anywhere close to him, though. Should have 1 pit stop in this race with the accelerated pit window. And we went caution-free in the last race at Watkins Glen as well. It was our 3rd caution-free truck race of the season. And with these 2 races tonight being short, I would not be shocked if we end up with 2 more caution-free races. Now, looks like we have an issue with Ted Musgrave, our teammate, in this first race, so there won't be any field pass because there's no other Germain Motorsports race trucks in the field. Musgrave will get to pit road. We continue to stay green. Wow. So Todd Bodine already without a teammate the rest of the way here. Ted Musgrave has had the season he would have hoped for. 15th in points coming into this one. When you compare his teammate running 2nd in points and having the most wins with 4 wins of the season. Looking for number 5 and 6 today if he can get the doubleheader sweep. Newman going to be back. I didn't get to look at any NASCAR news today, so I didn't know that that was the case. Good for him. Any Ryan Newman fans out there? A Rocket Man. Bodine definitely looking quicker than Hornaday in the rest of the field. He's just got to slowly pull it away. I noticed right out of the gate into practice, I nailed the setup. Feels good. Hopefully we can capitalize off of it, get this win. That'd be huge. Still running some quick laps, only slightly getting quicker and quicker. Almost 2/10 faster than Hornaday that last lap alone. Problem is with Hornaday running in second place, if he doesn't lead any laps, even finishing second, he'll still have the points lead going into Homestead. It would only be by 6 points over Todd Bodine, but gotta make sure we stay out of the pits as long as we can as well, because if Hornaday stays out longer than Bodine, there's a chance that Hornaday could get 5 bonus points. Not something Todd would like for Hornaday to get. By the way, I've led barely over 250 laps total on the season through 7 races. We have 167 laps total then tonight with the 2 races. So we haven't led a ton of laps, which is part of the reason why we're not in the points lead right now. Not maximizing our chances at bonus points, even the races we have won. And just like Watkins Glen, like I mentioned, it took us a while to get to the lead, and then once we got there, we only got there because of pit strategy, and then we only got it back at the very end of the race because of pit strategy. Short pitting versus the rest of the field helped us gain a lot of that gap we had on Bobby Hamilton, who was dominating almost all the way throughout. .2 seconds ahead. And no lap traffic in sight right now for Todd Bodine. It's a walk in the park. With this being a much shorter race, this is what he wants to see. He just needs this to stay caution-free. Which, again, we have had 3 times this Truck Series season. Haven't had it in any other series on this game, but Truck side, race is a little bit shorter, especially tonight. There's a chance. Newman going to be driving the 51 for Rick Boy Racing. Oh, okay. Bit of a Ford Alliance there still. I don't think anybody could have expected Ryan Newman coming back in the Cup Series this season. Be his first ever start in the next gen. Alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in this race. Dropped to 19.82, won that last lap. Quickest of any lap ran in the early going. I would highly recommend getting the merchandise ad track tomorrow if you could, just because the lines on Sunday are going to be a lot longer if you don't get there early enough. Save you a little extra time. Especially the main merchandise haulers. I don't remember any tent vendors when I was at Kansas, at least in the fall race last year, so I don't know if there's any in the spring race. Assassin 86X, thanks for tuning in. Could you imagine? That's the reason they got Ryan Newman in that car this week, is because when Brennan Poole was racing for Rick Ware Racing last week and got wrecked, they're like, alright, we're going to hire Newman this week. He's going to bust some ass. That'd be hilarious. I don't think Newman would get into a fight, though, considering, you know, the major head injury he had at Daytona a couple years ago. I don't think he'd want to be getting into a fight, honestly. I don't think that'd be a smart decision. I think the second race of the doubleheader tonight, that's going to be difficult. Because we are going to be in a situation where we're going to have to start at the back with no practice or qualifying. It's only 67 laps. I have not ran at Homestead in any of the 3 series on this game yet. So it's going to be very, very tough. We'll see what we can do in that one. But imagine it's going to be just a one-stop race, but we'll have to wait and see, obviously. And we had a 50% race at Texas early in the year, and that ended up being a 3-stopper, so I guess you never know. This one guaranteed one stop, as I pretty much predicted at the start of the race. Pretty easy to predict this one, though. Able to take it to lap 28 before we hit halfway out of gas. Might catch lap traffic before the end of the field run. It'll be close. Willie Wonka, thanks for tuning in. Barbecue on his way into the booth, just get into a one last fight. It'll be hilarious. He had an on-track run-in back with Chastain in the Xfinity Series at Darlington a while back. When he was, I think he was still racing with Chip Ganassi Racing at the time, if I'm not mistaken. They got into each other late, battling for, I don't know if it was for the lead or, it was definitely top portion of the field. One of the top spots. Another quickest lap, 19.821. Second time he's ran that similar lap time today. 3.8 second lead. Still has some clean air in front of him. Hasn't caught lap traffic yet. Just consistently 2 to 3 tenths quicker a lap. Still a lot of time in this one, though, if he doesn't get through lap traffic very well. Definitely could be something to look out for. Campsite's 10 to 20. What are you, like, parked on the backstretch then? They have camping on the backstretch of Kansas? I can't remember if they do or not. I feel like they did. Could be thinking of the wrong track. There's quite a few tracks that have that. Can't remember if Kansas is one of them. I didn't really wander off to the backstretch when I was there last year. Rick, thanks for tuning in. Just about to get into that traffic. Eric Darnell, way back there. 8th in points coming into this race, currently sitting in 33rd. One truck out, which is Ted Musgrave, who blew an engine just a handful of laps into this race. Front stretch, guys. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was all on the 117 truck right there. chopped down and crowded Bodine in the middle of the corner. Made contact with the truck in practice because of something similar to that too. These guys are not going to give Bodine a lot of room, I'd have to imagine, to try to make these passes in lap traffic. So Todd's going to have to be prepared for it. 40 laps complete. Are down on the bottom as he gets to the inside of the 99. Kins are driving a very loose truck as he gets by Darnell. Bodine trying to clear Darnell yet. Kins are still wiggling. A little more contact to look like between the 30 and the 47. And more contact off the exit of turn 2. Bodine tried to hold clear. Yeah, lap traffic already not easy to navigate through here at IRP, so could be an equalizer. It's a good thing that Todd Bodine got out to a good lead as he did here in the early going. That 137 truck in front of him. Big block on the front straightaway. 5 seconds off the lead. Is Ron Hornaday still in second? Contact. Gonna have to get physical to get around these guys. 3 of the 4 trucks Bodine's passed already, he's made contact with. Finished NASCAR Craftsman truck season on NASCAR 09 PS3. Actually, decent game. Get the hang of the weird handling physics. Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what 08, 09 look like. Feel like. I mean, I've kind of seen what they've looked like just from other YouTubers that have played that game. 09 already there and again got crowded. Good thing this is a short race. You can probably get away with having a little bit of damage on the right front. Product of short track racing. Almost halfway. I'd imagine we're going to see some trucks split this race in half. Plan is for Todd to still try to stay out as long as he can. Probably about lap 53 or 54 he's going to hit pit road. And he's just going to hope that Hornaday will have pitted by then. So that way there's no chance of Ron getting 5 bonus points for leading laps during green flag pit stops. Knowing that this 30 truck is going to end up having to pit first. Or potentially pitting first. We'll see. We're at lap 50 right now. Fuel window definitely open to make it to the end. And we'll be exactly halfway this time. So that means Todd Bodine will clinch 10 bonus points, as he's led every lap so far from the pole in this one. And he just ran another fastest lap even at the end of this tire stint. Down into the 19.7s that last lap. Truck right in front of Bodine pitting. Able to get to the outside into the corner. We'll pit at lap 54 will be the plan. So lap 54 will be the scheduled pit stop for Todd Bodine. He'll be pitting directly in front of him again. He turns 3 and 4. Legacy got a bit loose, which kind of stacked up this 184 truck right in front of Todd Bodine. 47 laps to go. A little contact. The lap truck coming out of the pits. Oh boy, 3 wide. I think that truck on the, oh my gosh. Truck on the outside of Todd Bodine. Sandwiched him. Caution flag is out. I think Bodine got to the commitment line in time. The yellow flag is out. It's somewhere behind him. I believe he got to the commitment line. I don't know if he was scored the leader or not. But I'm pretty sure he was still in the lead when the caution came out. We'll have to see where this cycles. This is definitely weird. In the middle of green flag pit stops. Caution with 47 laps left at IRP. Oh, who that truck was? It was a 184, I believe, was the number. We'll see what the caution was for. Our first in a couple races in the truck series. Philip Moore, thanks for tuning in. Eric Darnell turns the 108 truck. I believe he was probably trying to get to pit road as well. Right hooked him. He's hanging on that corner panel. Hornaday stayed out. He was about to take the lead. I think Bodine's still going to be scored in front of him. He is, and Todd can stay out. So that was a perfect timing caution because now Ron Hornaday pits. He actually loses one position as a result. He'll restart in third instead of second. But the field is bunched together again. That 6.8 second lead is gone. 43 to go. Green flag back in the air at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Got to the bottom. Todd Bodine has still led every lap in this race. With that caution coming out right as he hit pit road, but he already hit the commitment line. If he didn't hit the commitment line when the caution flag came out, he wouldn't have been able to service the race truck without a penalty of going to the tail end of the longest line. He's very, very fortunate he was able to do so. He's trying to get by this 191 truck. Once he can do that, he's going to have a clean air advantage. It's underneath the 191, side by side off of turn 2. Pass him straight up, and he does. 40 to go. Todd Bodine trying to go wire to wire at IRP. First of 2 races on a doubleheader Friday night. Our next race will be at Homestead. Right here on this stream. You won't have to go anywhere. That will be 67 laps. The thing that sinks with that caution is that it did bunch the field back together again. We'll see if we get another yellow before the end of this race and may give some drivers an opportunity again. Wasn't the perfect restart for Todd Bodine, was good enough, and he got past the 2 lap trucks that had gotten around him initially in the restart before he got to the bottom quickly enough that he was able to put a little bit of separation between himself and the second place truck. Be interesting if Hornaday is going to be able to hang on to his positioning on the track as he's been in the top 3 all day. Again, we qualified on the pole in this one, trying to go wire to wire, but we will be starting last with no practice or qualifying for our second race tonight. We'll just hop right in, and it will be at Homestead. Final 50% races of the custom schedule season. The rest of the races on the season going forward will be 100% races. Also, if you're wondering why the Throwback Thursday live stream isn't ongoing as of right now, it was scheduled for tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We started the live stream. We got about 11 and a half minutes in, and then it got taken down for copyright, so we will not be able to watch the 2015 Hollywood Casino 400 this week. In replacement of that, to watch a classic race tomorrow before the truck race live commentary stream begins tomorrow night. At 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will watch the 2001 Protection 1400 at Kansas. That was the inaugural NASCAR Cup race at Kansas Speedway, so we'll watch that tomorrow. Hopefully we don't get copyrighted for that. That's the first time I've had that issue. I've had like streams afterwards getting taken down, but I've never had it get taken down during the stream before, so that was definitely interesting. It was the most recent race that we tried to watch, 2015. I think the rule is that it has to be from at least 7 years ago, and it would have been about 7.5 years ago when that race took place, so I thought it met the qualifications. The only other thing I can think of is that it was on NASCAR's YouTube channel, and I think that might have been why it got flagged. There was no other YouTube channels that had that race full length other than NASCAR's main YouTube channel, so that could be why. Although I did watch one other race on NASCAR's main YouTube channel, which was a 2012 Daytona 500, and that never got flagged. That was back during the off season. So yeah, I don't know what the criteria was that we failed to comply with this one. The Throwback Thursday streams, they're so, like, whether, I get to the end of the stream, sometimes gets copyright claimed and I don't get any, income out of it. Sometimes it doesn't get claimed at all. It's really luck of the draw. I mean, I haven't found anything that dictates. I've noticed the Viacom, CBS broadcasts tend to get flagged a lot, but the other, companies, sometimes ESPN ones do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes NBC does, sometimes they don't. Same with Fox. It's really randomized. Hans Good has just blown an engine for the second consecutive race. He did not lead laps today, but he did qualify second. I would imagine he was having a good run, but not going to get a good finish. So after being in the championship hunt, after winning 3 of 5 races going into Watkins Glen 2 nights ago, he has now blown engines in the last 2 races. He was more than likely taken out of the championship hunt after the last race with the DNF, but definitely going to have to put the dagger in him for his championship hopes this year. He made a good run middle of the season out of seemingly nowhere, but 2 engine failures back-to-back, that's going to hurt him mightily. Tom Bodine may hit lap traffic before the end of this race again. It's clear he's had the fastest truck in the field today. He doesn't have to prove himself for 200 laps. From a speed standpoint, 100 good enough. Thank goodness the caution came out though when it did, because if it would have came out moments sooner before Tom Bodine hit the commitment line, if he wasn't going to be able to get up and out of the way in time, and we were looking at Tom Bodine having to restart the tail end of the field with just 43 to go. That would have been very difficult because it's been tough to pass the lap trucks tonight. Luckily, Todd has had a big enough lead when he got to lap traffic the first time. It wasn't an issue. And I don't think it's going to be an issue this time either, because we're running down on almost 20 to go as it is right now. If he catches lap traffic, it probably won't be till about the final 10 laps. The lead's only going to grow before them. He doesn't actually have to pass a lap truck if he really doesn't want to. I mean, while I like NASCAR for the nostalgic reasons, or like NASCAR nostalgia, for the reasons I do like watching older races, especially ones from like my younger years, just seeing the paint schemes that I grew up loving on the racetrack, something as simple as that. There are still good races now, and I would probably say that 2015 was a good enough race, which is why it probably won, virtue of a landslide for the voting poll this week. I have watched that 2001 Kansas race on a replay before. It has been a couple years, but I remember watching that on NASCAR's YouTube channel a while back. Hopefully it'll be on another channel, which I would imagine it would, with it being from 2001. I'll just start having a backup plan then for Throwback Thursday streams in case we run into this issue again. Which hopefully we don't. $19 laps left. Honestly, we grew our lead out much quicker during this run than what we did an early run of the race. 6.8 second lead, but it took me 54 laps to get to that point. Since the restart, which took place at lap 60... I guess it would have been lap 58. Would have been the restart lap. Definitely catching lap traffic a lot sooner, too. I think we're catching lap traffic sooner, though, also because of the single file restart, although there were a lot of trucks that were lapped down. So maybe not single file for all of them. Dropped to 19.701 that last lap. Fastest of the race for Todd Bodine. Passes the 117 truck to put truck another lap down in this one. 14 to go. Another 19.720 that time, just a couple hundred slower. Surprised there wasn't contact there. We definitely got close. He crowded me when I was clearly way below the yellow line. Didn't want me to work my way back up, I guess. I remember having pretty bad luck at IRP in NASCAR 06. It's nice to know here in NASCAR 07. At least in the truck series, having a better run. Hopefully when we get here in the Busch Series season, which is actually our next Busch race as well at IRP, that we could have a similar run. A little contact right in front of Todd Bodine. 137 got into Eric Darnell, and then that caused a checkup where Bodine got in the back of the 137, 11 to go. Make the pass on him. And now the 137, a little bit bigger rival. Todd didn't get onto the brakes in time there. 10 laps to go. Giving a lot of room for Todd to try to make the pass, and he tried to take Todd Bodine out. Hit him right in the middle of the corner. He's not going to be able to get back to him as Bodine's going to drive it in deep into 3 and 4, just trying to make sure he stays away. Doesn't want to get turned here in the late going while leading 9 to go. Largest lead of the day now for Todd Bodine. Patrick Shadley, thanks for tuning in. Caution at the midway point, right in the middle of green flag stops, but it didn't do us any disfavors, so we're actually in the lead on pit road when the caution flag came out right before we would have lost the lead. When it came out a lap later, we would have been trapped a lap down, so it's a good time it came out when it did. Because of it came out when we did, we never ended up actually losing the lap because we were able to make our pit stop while the caution was out, but we didn't actually pit under the yellow itself, so we were the leader. Everybody else who was on the lead lap behind us still had to pit. Hornaday lost a spot on pit road as a result of that. Fell back to third. I'm not sure if he is still up in the third position. Maybe he got back to second. Maybe he fell back further. Just have to wait and see in this finishing order momentarily. That guy did not deserve that. Just absolutely drove right into his door. Kids are all over the place right in front of Bodine as well. 5 laps to go for Todd Bodine. Fred Kinzer going to go another lap down. Our second race again at Homestead will be coming up soon. And if Ron Hornaday finishes worse than second, well, I guess he would have to technically finish 4th or worse. But if Hornaday finishes 4th or worse in this race with not leading any laps, then Todd Bodine will take the points lead into Homestead. 3 to go. Big dive right into the back of the 4th, Timothy Peters. He was going to go lap down. Had that win at Talladega, but really to show for the most part. 190 truck is very loose all over in front of him. 2 to go. Bodine gonna slide job his way past the 190 with a clean pass there. And he will not catch another lap truck. A lot of clean air in front of him. A little loose off turn 2 that time, but it's okay. Don't have too much further to go anyway. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go for Todd Bodine. It'll be back-to-back wins, and it will be his 5th win of the season. Second 50% race will go to Victory Lane in this year. The other one was at Martinsville. Todd Bodine is a winner at IRP. Billy Kramer, thanks for tuning in. There's one. 1 down, 1 to go tonight. Dominating win, wire to wire for Todd Bodine. Trying to pull a Kyle Larson. There's not as much smoke. I'm trying to do it like a drag burnout all the way around the track. Why can't it be puffy? If it was puffy, this would be epic. Major red lineage. Ah! I was so close! I was so close. A perfect half mile, and I think I'd be able to do it. I was so close. Alright, we'll check out the finishing results of this one. Ryan Hornaday didn't finish in the top 10. He fell back. Bobby Hamilton finished 9th. Hornaday restarted 3rd. I think he might have blown an engine. He did. Wow, he blew an engine right after the restart. We restarted lap 58. He blew an engine at lap 62. We saw Hans Good blow an engine, and then Ted Musgrave on lap 4 blew a motor. So the points leader, Ryan Hornaday, DNFs in our first race tonight. In total, we only had 12 drivers finish in the lead lap, 1 caution. Technically, Todd Bodine led every lap today, but it scored Wilson Eubanks leading 2 laps. Irvin leading 1. And Craig Kinzer leading 1, even though technically we led all 100 laps in this race. So I don't know why it didn't have us leading every lap. Luckily, the drivers that get bonus points to aren't really in the running for the championship, so... And we still got 10 bonus points. Yeah, I don't know why. We did lead every lap today, wire to wire. 100 laps led from the pole. Bill Lester finishes 2nd, Johnson 3rd, David Reagan's best finish of the year finishing 4th, Wilson Eubanks rounds out the top 5, Van Dyke finishes 6th, Clausen 7th, Stewart 8th, Bobby Hamilton Sr. 9th, and Irving 10th in today's race. I will take that 100 laps led to add on to the season total. I'll update the point standings at the top of the screen here in between races. And then we will get on with our second race of the night. After the fact, shot at 52. Hey, I'm struggling right now. I shot at 94 today. I just not playing good golf. I can't hit my iron, so I'm having to hit punch shots, and I'm having issues like topping everything. I don't know what I'm doing. It's so in my head. It's so in my head, and it's like bad. at first I was only doing it with my irons, and I was able to get away with like a punch shot hybrid, and I still shot like a 78 with it. And I'm like, all right, this is obtainable at least. It's like a band-aid until I fix the original problem. Now I'm starting to top my punch shot, so it's like I'm just like, I'll go like 2-3 shots in a row, hitting them fine, and then I'll top like 3 or 4 in a row, end up with like an 8 on a hole. It's just ridiculous. Go like par like 2-3 holes in a row like nothing's wrong, and then I just like fall into a bad like rhythm. It's somehow mechanically it feels so it feels comfortable when I'm taking my swing that it just like for whatever reason I fall into that habit. I was doing that off and on the last couple years, but usually it's just for like a couple rounds and I'll snap out of it. I've been to the driving range like 3 or 4 times in the last like 2 weeks. I can't fix it. Like I hadn't played for like 5 days until today. I tried taking a little bit of time off. Granted, the weather hasn't been great up until today for me to play, but man, that's tough. Mike George, thanks for the $20 super chat Canadian. Don't go anywhere. We still have one more race today, but appreciate that. Victory earnings. 100 will be next at Homestead. We'll check out the point standings first. Greens were too fast. The greens are slow where I'm at. We've had a lot of rain this spring. And very slow. The rough, very, very thick. The course I'm playing at too. So if I don't hit a fairway in regulation, that ball stops. I don't get as much distance. All right. Todd Bodine's got a 106-point lead over Hornaday. Came into this race 26 points back. It's going to be big because he is going to be starting last in a short race here for the race coming up. And then Bobby Hamilton Sr. lost a few points. Had a top 10. Didn't lose as much as Hornaday, obviously, with the DNF. I believe that's Hornaday's first DNF of the season. We have not had a DNF yet. And I think I have only finished a lap down in one race, which was at Milwaukee, if I'm not mistaken. But, laps led. 100. And on the year, that actually ties me with the most laps led in a single race this year. In a 50% race. I led 100 laps at Bristol as well. And that's going to give us 356 laps led on the season with 9 top 10s, 8 top 5s, and 5 wins. And we will be starting last in the next one. Let me get my average finish real quick. Average finish is 9. 9th place average finish overall. So one finish better than 9th in this second race. We'll be all right. Let's see. Bobby Hamilton. Yeah, big gap back to Bill Lester in 4th. Solid run for him, though, finishing top 3 in this one. Hans good. Back-to-back engine failures. 2 races in a row. He was only, what, 102? I think he was 206 back 2 races ago, and now he's 392 back. Terrible luck. And he's had speed the last 2 races, just engine failures. Too much speed, maybe. Oh, I didn't even update the points at the top of the screen. I apologize. Try to make this as quick as I can before we get into the next race. Just updating the top 10. Definitely the largest points lead that we've had on the season. And only the second different time we've led in points on the year. Our Yeah, Eric Darnell fell out of the top 10, finishing a couple laps down at the back of the field. He was just off on speed, and then he was involved in an accident also. Eubanks is in the top 10 now after getting a 5th place finish. And now we have 5 wins. So 67 laps at Homestead up next. Alrighty. Yeah, we're just going to hop into this. No practice, no qualifying. We'll hope for the best. 106-point lead coming into the second race following back-to-back wins of the season for Todd Bodine. Can he go 3 in a row? We'll see. Bill Lester leads the field to the green at Homestead as we're racing under the lights for a second race of the night. Just have to hope the setup is going to be good to go. More than likely, it is going to be just a 1 pit stop race. Yeah, most, oh my gosh, almost contact at the back of the field there. The 108 and the 163. But I'm backing up the middle of the corner, trying not to make contact. Slight brush, it looked like off turn 4. Lester leads the opening lap of the race at the front of the field. Bodine kind of got leaned on a little bit. It didn't really look like Todd drifted up the track. The 108 definitely hung on that right rear corner panel, turned down a bit, made contact, and Todd Bodine lost a couple spots. Bobby Hamilton to the lead off turn 2, holds it through 3 and 4, and Bobby Hamilton will lead his first lap of the day. Maybe he's got a shot to take second in points after this one. That's 5 bonus points for him. Trying to get in contention as they're hoping Bodine doesn't have such a strong finish. As a run to the outside of the 163. I'm not sure how this is going to work. Just going to try it. Trying to get that turn down off turn 4. There's Darnell qualifying towards the back of the field again. Out on the bottom into the corner. Bodine clear. Track there. There's still a lot of 3-wide racing going on up ahead of these guys. Getting crowded mightily into turns 1 and 2 again. We've got trouble. Crash off of turn 2. Field was able to slow up for the most part. A couple trucks involved. 139 lost control in the outside lane. Almost saved it. I think he got hit from behind, which kind of pushed him up into the wall a little bit. Only 2 trucks collected out of that, miraculously, as that truck stayed to the outside. Early yellow here at Homestead. Everybody will stay out of the pits as we're just a few laps in. Bobby Hamilton lost the lead right before the caution came out. It's 29th on the restart for Todd Bodine. Lap 9 restart. Yeah, it was pretty much a 360. To the inside of teammate Ted Musgrave, making a slide job pass. Bobby Hamilton on the restart gets back to the lead at the front of the field. No lap traffic to deal with for anybody here. One caution in the first race at IRP and one already in the early going of this race today. Took away about 3 or 4 laps, though, for Bodine to try to get through this traffic as well. The single file restart will help him out just a bit more. Gets to the outside of the 101 truck, getting into 3 and 4. Slipped up the hill a little bit on that outside lane. He's onto it enough. And what a pass by Todd Bodine on the outside. Got the 31-4. Cuts to the bottom. Look at the moves. Couple of 3 wide moves, and now Bodine into the top 20 as he's got a rocket ship. Knowing he can make passes on the top and bottom at Homestead in 2006. Where the groove isn't quite as wide out as it is, say, today. He's running some quick laps. Trying to go to the top there. That time he slid up the track maybe a little too much and to lose a position out of it. Making a block on Crocker, trying to get back down to the bottom. He got that spot back. Wide again is Todd Bodine. There's Legacy in the 04. It gets to the inside of Craig Kinzer for 12th on the 47. Another fastest lap of the race on lap 13 that last time. Marvin Shett to the lead in the 192 truck. Already 4 drivers have led laps in today's race. We've only had about 10 or 11 green flag laps completed. Bodine has already gained so much ground. Cuts to the bottom underneath David Reagan. Coming off a 4th place finish at IRP. Todd Bodine to 11th place. We didn't get a field pass at all in our first race tonight. We'll make sure we get a handful of them here in race 2 with Ted Musgrave in the number 9. 3 wide right in front of him. Trapped back in the position number 28 spot. Nice if we can get Ted Musgrave a win before the end of the season. We can grow that points lead out a little bit more for Todd Bodine first. To 23rd, just like that for the 9 truck. Musgrave going to try to make a pass on the top like Bodine did a little bit earlier. Aaron Crocker didn't get in the way here off turn 4. I think it was going to be possible. It's still possible, and Musgrave's going to be clear. Maine's at 11th, might have gotten a bit loose. David Reagan up above the 30. Reagan not quite going to slip underneath Bodine. He crowds him, but he is clear. Clean move by Todd there. Stays in front of the 6 again. 20th place right now for Ted Musgrave. He's moving. He is moving through the field. Oh boy, got it a bit loose off turn 2 though. Sends it. Well, the opportunity to get some merchandise for your favorite driver, if you don't have a lot of it right now, is definitely there. But if that's your first time at Kansas, even a track shirt would be kind of cool. It's one thing I don't usually get, but like I'll bring home to my grandparents anytime I go to a new track. I try to get them a new T-shirt wherever I go. Oh boy. Bodine got boxed in a little bit. Musgrave coming up hot behind him. Bodine tried to get back around David Reagan again. Line of trucks to the top into 3 and 4. Todd slides in there, clear for 12th. So he got up to about 11th, 12th place, and he stalled out a little bit now. Still about 3.2 seconds off the lead. Still 45 laps to go, though. Everybody's still going to have to pit at some point in this race. It's a massive dive to the bottom of the track that time. Ninth place, 24 laps in after starting last. What a drive by this 30 truck of Todd Bodine right now. Already had 5 different leaders at the front of the field in this one. A little loose off turn 2. Wall kind of caught him a little bit there. Definitely driving the wheels off of it. Definitely some positions to be had for Ted Musgrave. Sits at 15th. I have to say, the drivability of this racetrack alone, I feel like I like this track a lot more in NASCAR 07 than what I have in the prior NASCAR EA games that we played on the channel. It's a little bit more racy. 3 wide. Musgrave to 13th. He is definitely moving. really deep dive getting into turns 3 and 4 there. Move back into 8th. Nice run off turn 4. 6.8 seconds off the lead. Don't get to 8th. Good news is Hornaday hasn't led any laps in this second race. Didn't lead any in race 1. Had top 5 speed, but blew an engine just past the halfway mark of the race. Ended up finishing 35th. And one truck blowing up down on the bottom. It's Marvin Shett, the race leader, who is starting to pull away there. The race leader has just blown an engine. Moves Hornaday to 3rd, right behind Bobby Hamilton. Bodine going to make a pass, what is now for 6th, which was originally going to be 7th going into turn 1. And that is the first driver to have an engine failure here in our second race tonight. Marvin Shett done for the evening. Final field pass means we didn't get any in race 1. That's why we're doing so many here, trying to get them out of the way in the early going of race 2. Really, we're almost halfway in actuality. Musgrave looking for 12th place off the exit of the corner to the inside of the 191. Goes up to try to side draft a little bit. Shut down on the... he's actually in the grass. Forget the apron and forget the access road. I'm just going to drive through the grass. That's what Marvin Shett was thinking there. Might as well just pull a Josh Williams and just park it. Walk out, walk back to your car. Although he didn't do that under green flag conditions. I think that would have been a much bigger deal if he would have done that during green flag conditions. That is a massive block going into the first turn. Musgrave definitely pushed the issue. Probably should have just backed out of it. That almost caused a wreck. Todd on the outside, about to fall back to 7th. I'll wait to take control. Take it now. That was not a good idea. I should have waited until I got to the straightaway. Alright. Block going into 3 and 4. Can't tell what fantasy driver that is leading right now, but that driver is having a little bit better go for himself. Great battle for 2nd going on right now, and I think Bill Lester just moved into 2nd, getting by both Hornaday and Bobby Hamilton in recent laps. Yeah, we will be watching the 2001 race tomorrow. The copyright issues from earlier. Hornaday to 2nd. Trying to battle through all this. It's allowing these drivers to bunch up quite a bit more. Bodine's got a massive run off turn 4. He's going 3 wide into the corner. Flatlines it. Slides the rear tires a little bit. Staying low. Can't complete the pass on the 18 truck. Trying to protect the bottom into the corner, and he does. 32 laps to go at the line. Todd Bodine has now driven his truck up to 4th. Lester underneath Hornaday. Bodine all over Hornaday's back bumper. That allowed Lester to clear the 33. Bodine on the backstretch will pull to the inside of Hornaday for 3rd. Little loose diving off into turn 3 that time. Bodine will slide clear in 3rd place. Top 2 in points run 3rd and 4th in this one. Bodine squirrely up turn 2. He's down in the grass. It's going to cost him some time. Clips the 18 and around he goes on the back stretch. Keeps it off the inside wall. And we're under caution for the 2nd time. Once he got down in the grass, it was a little too tough to try to hang on. And we're under caution once again. Nice save. And I would imagine everybody will pit here as we're just past halfway. So everybody will be pitting. They'll be taking 4 fresh tires, and we'll get our second restart of race 2 of the doubleheader. 4 tires and fuel for Todd Bodine. Luckily, we didn't hit anything hard there. We should still have good speed in the truck. The leader who was getting away with that crazy battle for second going on behind him. Now going to have to battle just to win the race off pit road to maintain the lead. Instead of getting into green flag pit stops, which we were probably going to do within 5 to 10 laps. Bobby Hamilton wins the race out of the pits. Todd Bodine does pick up a couple spots, moves from 7th to 3rd. So Hamilton retakes the lead. And with Bodine being involved in that caution, still is going to end up gaining spots out of it. Green flag back in the air, and we are down to 27 laps to go at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Here we go. Hornaday in 5th. Going from 4th on the restart in 1 and 2. Not wasting any time. Gets to the inside of Todd Bodine. He went really wide off turn 2. That was a big mistake by Todd. He's going to leave the bottom open now as they get into turns 3 and 4. Todd's stuck on the outside lane. Hamilton going to lose the lead at the front of the field, it looks like. Hornaday so close to being cleared off the exit of the corner. Todd Bodine is there. He's side drafting the 33 into turns 1 and 2. Stuck on the top, though. Bill Lester occupies the bottom. Crowds the 30, up into the wall. Up turn 2 goes Todd Bodine. Couldn't hang on to it. Drops back to 6th. So now a new fantasy driver leads the field. Bodine is getting absolutely crowded by this 191. So close! Oh, they did make contact! I was wondering if they were going to touch or not. Bodine getting crowded up into the wall again. Good heavens. Oh, we've got trouble! Bobby Hamilton's in the wall now. Oh my goodness. What happened up there? Him and the guy he was battling with for the lead got into each other, and Lester in 3rd gets to the lead, and now Hornaday goes from 4th to 2nd. Bodine shoots the gap for 4th. Pandemonium everywhere on the track following the restart. Bodine battling for 3rd. Hornaday's going for the lead. He hasn't led in this race. Todd Bodine hasn't led in this race. Hornaday going for the lead, but the door is shut into 1 and 2. Bodine hopefully didn't have too much speed knocked out the truck after getting into the wall a couple times on the restart. Both times off turn 2. The second time, though, it wasn't really his fault. He kind of got crowded. Bodine's a big Bill Lester fan right now, just hoping that Bill does not lose that lead and allow Hornaday to get any bonus points. Hornaday gets a really good run off turn 4, I've noticed, but he doesn't get off turn 2 quite as well. To get side by side, it'll allow Todd to pull in, but he just doesn't want the 33 to lead it all. By the way, it's also a 10-point increment between 1st and 2nd. 5 points per position for the rest of the drivers in the top 5. Behind 2nd on back. And 4 points between every position, 6 through 10, and then 3 points per position for every finishing position outside the top 10 at the end of the race. All right, slowly closing in. We're down to just 20 laps to go already in our second race tonight at Homestead. Hopefully you guys are enjoying. Be sure to like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content if you haven't already. What a race. Hornaday going for the lead. Down on the inside. Is he going to lead the lap? He is going to lead the lap by inches. And Bodine's got to run. He's going 3 wide for the lead on the bottom of the track. And he hooks it. Hornaday may have led, but now Todd Bodine makes the 3 wide pass for the lead. Lester swings back to the inside of the 33. What a move by Todd Bodine. And he's going to get 5 bonus points for leading his first lap with 18 to go at the line. What a battle late. He's led in all but 3 races this season. All 3 races he didn't lead. He finished outside the top 10. Those are the only 3 races that has been the case. And he's trying to go for 3 wins in a row. If he can get the W here. Battling Bill Lester. Bodine leads another lap. Probably doesn't matter. I don't think anybody of these 3 will get the most laps led. Bill Lester back out in front. He got those 2 trucks side by side in front of him. Bodine tried to capitalize. He bounces into the wall again. Truck's just maybe a little too loose. Somehow in the middle of the corner he battled back to the inside of the 33. Oh, Hornaday hangs on the 30. There's a lot of contact getting into turn 1. Kind of similar to what the 108 truck did at the beginning of the race on us. That second lap. Just hung on that corner panel. They couldn't get the turn in the truck. Went up the hill. Kept it off the wall. Lester gets out ahead a little bit more. Bodine was getting pretty loose at the end of that last run. I would imagine that's going to be the case again here, especially pushing a little harder, battling for the win now. We're obviously much later in the race versus at about the halfway mark. Hornaday leaving a lot of bottom open. A lot of smoke up in the outside wall in the middle of 3 and 4, but no caution came out for it. Bodine gets right back by Ron Hornaday again. For second. Todd wants the dive to the bottom in 1 and 2 underneath Bill Lester. He got it. Hooked on the white line in the first half of the corner. Slides clear in the second half. Got a bit loose. Hangs on to it. As he clears Bill Lester. Now having to play a little game out of the rearview mirror called the Joey Logano line. I don't know, I made that up on the spot. Can you imagine there being like a NASCAR video game called the Joey Logano line where you're just having to block? You get like points for blocking other cars. That's it. You have to, every race they start you in first. And you just have to block the whole time. Speaking of a block, that was a couple of big ones on the front stretch. Hornaday slips by. He's already led 1 lap. Bodine got loose. Did a great job keeping it off the 33. And Lester gets to second. So easy for these guys to lose that bottom. 11 to go. Tell these points are important for these guys. Lester again going for the lead. I don't think Hornaday's got as strong of a truck as the 22 and the 30. Really low off turn 2. That was a big dive. Bodine going for it. down into 3 and 4 again. He's got to the inside of the 22, but he can't clear. 10 to go. Lester by inches leads that lap. Bodine's still underneath him, though, as they get into turns 1 and 2. Barely clear. And 4th place is starting to come from behind. Bodine slipped back up the track. It's so loose in that outside. Hangs on to it. Oh boy, big move. Thought about blocking the inside. He gets tagged just a bit. Some of that was trying to crowd the 2nd place truck behind him. Still crowding him. That's just so dangerous. Couldn't hang on. Definitely needs to hold off Hornaday. Doesn't want to lose points to the 2nd place driver in the standings, even if it's just 5 points. 7.5 long laps left in this one. Bodine's having a harder time trying to keep up with these guys. Big block. Pulled off there by Hornaday. All 4 of these guys are all over each other right now. Bodine to the outside into 3 and 4. It's not going to work. Hornaday's going to get underneath him. Down to 6 laps left. I think Bill Lester's been the strongest when he's been out in front, I will say. Going for 3rd on the inside of the 33. Left the bottom open. Bodine under the 2nd place truck as well. Alright, well, 5 to go, and he's right back in the driver's seat again. And Lester's still in the hot seat. Bodine trying to widen the corner entry out a lot into turns 1 and 2. Cuts to the bottom. Can he clear off of turn 2? He can't clear. Hornaday coming up from behind. 30 and the 22 side draft each other. Hornaday trying to get to the inside. Can't get it 3 wide on both of them. Hornaday has not won a race since that season opener at Daytona. 4 to go. Bodine blocks the bottom on Hornaday. He's trying to protect the inside. But Hornaday had a lot of speed underneath him. And the 2 championship drivers battle again. Hornaday to the lead. But they're side by side for 3rd, so Bodine didn't lose any extra spots that time. Still 3 to go this time by. Spinning roulette wheel. I'm not trying to go to the outside. It just seems like whoever's in 2nd just gets such a good run off the exit of the corner. They get to the bottom getting in. Oh, big block by Hornaday. And that did not work out well for either driver. That's going to hurt the rear tires a little bit more. Hornaday fell back to 4th. Great drive off turn 4 again, though, for Bodine, and he's still battling, and a 2 to go. Hanging it down on the bottom lane. Clear again. Will Bill Lester get there? Well, that's not going to help. Todd sliding around a lot. He's really loose off turn 4. He's hanging on to the lead, though, barely. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go. Can he hold on to win 3 races in a row? Oh, what a dive by Lester. I had no chance to get to the bottom there, honestly. Oh, they touch a little bit. Lost the lead. Got a chance at second. Sends it in. Oh, no. Both the leaders are into the wall. The championship leaders. Wow. Bill Lester wins it at Homestead. Carnage happened behind him between Bodine and Hornaday. Bodine sent it with the slide job move for third, or really for second going into the corner. They went up the hill. Bodine got third out of it, and Hornaday ended up fifth. Dante Johnson ended up fourth, splitting in between the two. Bill Lester probably had the strongest car, though, and he ends up getting the win. Seemed like when he was out in front, he was a lot harder to hold off and stay in front. He qualified on the pole, wins the race. Yeah, he was definitely the toughest to hold on of any of them there. I felt like I could kind of hold my own on everybody else. Man, oh man. I mean, there was no chance. Like, he drove it so deep getting into the corner and got it to stick on that last lap going into 1 and 2. And when I was on the outside, my car was just getting too loose. I was just a little bit off that white line, even in the middle groove. But on the outside of another truck, I just couldn't hold it. But Lester gets the win. 16 laps led. Wilson Eubanks finishes second. Todd Bodine third after starting last. Led 6 laps. Good enough. Dante Johnson finishes fourth. Ron Hornaday led laps. 3 to be exact. Finishes fifth. Stewart sixth. Bobby Hamilton Sr. seventh. He fell back there at the end. He made contact with one of the fantasy drivers he was battling for the lead with on the restart. And they ended up both falling outside of the top 5. I don't know how that happened, but they got together, which kind of caused Lester to get the lead back in the first place, which was the first time he had led since before the first caution early in the race. Claiborne finishes at 8th, Clausen 9th, and T rounds out the top 10. I didn't see who led the most laps. I think it might have been Claiborne. No, it wasn't him. No, Hamilton led 6. Oh, well, it was probably Marvin Sheth, because he blew an engine. 16. That's it. 16 laps was enough to lead the most. That's how competitive this race was. Lester led, what, 15? Somebody else led 15 also? Yeah, Marvin Sheth blew an engine, then Vance blew an engine. 2 DNFs in the second race tonight. That was a wild one. Bill Lester also led 16, so he also gets 10 bonus points. So actually, they'll split 10 bonus points, and the max points day will be for Bill Lester by taking the lead on the last lap and getting the win. I'll take a third place finish. I don't think I had the fastest truck there. It wasn't like IRP where I obliterated the field on speed. We had a fast truck to get up there, but we did stall out a bit, though, once we did get there. Helmet-to-helmet argument. All right. Fort Worth 400 at Texas will be the next race on the schedule. That was a wild race when we were at Texas the first time in the Truck Series, so I'm sure the second race there will also be wild. We'll take a look at the standings. I think I only gained 10 points on Hornaday. Better than losing points. So I was so committed to diving it in deep, trying to pass him there for a second on the last lap. I lost a spot out of it, but I ended up beating him by 2 spots, so it mattered. 116-point difference between Bodine and Hornaday, and then Bobby Hamilton Sr. still in at 173 back. 7 races to go. Finished 8th at Texas the first race there on the season. That was in a 50% race. The next one will be a 100% race. Might be a fuel situation there because it kind of was with the 50% race. So I'll be interested to see what happens there. Then we go to Michigan. I haven't raced at that track yet in the Truck or the Cup Series. So that'll be our first truck race. We go back to Atlanta, which I won at. Led 59 laps the first race there. Vegas for the first time in the trucks. I've raced there in the Cup. Martinsville, California, Talladega to end the season. So appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't already, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. By the way, this was Bill Lester's first win on the season, so that gives us now 7 different winners through 12 races on the truck side. Appreciate everybody tuning in, though. Have a good rest of your Friday night. Doubleheader tomorrow. Hopefully we don't have any issues with the Throwback Thursday live stream. We'll go to try to watch the 2001 race, which was the second most voted for this week because of the 2015 fall race getting taken down on stream earlier today. So technically this was our second stream. I completely took the stream down. I only had 11 minutes and I didn't get any monetization off of it anyway either. So I took it down. We only watched 11 minutes of the race. Of the broadcast, not even 11 minutes of the race. The stream itself was only 11 minutes. So hopefully all goes better with that. That will be at 5:30 again tomorrow. And then we'll have the live commentary for the truck race immediately following that at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night. Hopefully you tune in and enjoy. Enjoy the rest of your Friday night, everybody. Have a good one.